We'll go to the third photo here.
Sure.
Which is gonna be this one.
Oh my gosh.
We kind of like went down on the Instagram a little bit.
That's amazing.
And
I love that.
Found this. Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Project Connect. I have Jacob Maxwell with me here today. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
Super stoked about it. We'll jump right into it here.
Sweet.
Here's the first photo, which I believe you were playing a show at Strada,
Yes,
I think.
Strada Cafe.
And tell us about that. Do you play a lot of spots around town?
Yeah, so, I mean, to go back a little bit, if that's okay.
Yeah,
I
for
started
sure.
playing guitar when I was 12.
Okay.
And then I didn't start singing until I was 13, joined a youth group at 14, started being on more worship teams at 15, and slowly it just piled up to where I wanted to do it professionally as well. And so I have some good friends. The owners of Strada are Hagan and Tyler Robb, and they're just phenomenal people, good friends of mine. And so we kind of do each other favors. Like, I would love to bring music and hopefully bring people in. And that was probably the first time I ever played at Strada.
Okay.
And my girlfriend has a good friend, James Trayford, phenomenal photographer. Clearly, this must be the nicest photo you've ever seen. And took some photos of me there. But that was when I really started to gig more consistently. It's probably 2 years ago.
Okay.
But yeah, that was Hagan and Tyler's shop.
Was there any inspiration in your life that like led you to go down the music?
It was a lack of being athletic.
Okay.
I grew up in a neighborhood, a cul-de-sac full of athletic public schoolers. I was homeschooled.
Okay.
2 older sisters. My dad worked all the time. I was always around women. So it was much more sensitive. It wasn't what you said, it was the way you said it. I was super in touch with that side, and I just could not keep up with my buddies. And I don't know why, I just picked up a guitar for some reason, and it was like one thing that I like understood, and it clicked for some reason. Other than just loving music, there wasn't really a main inspiration that pushed me to it. It just kind of
Came to be.
It came to be. Yeah, I wasn't trying to be good at it, but it just happened naturally.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Go to the second photo here.
Okay.
Which is the voice. Obviously a pretty big part of your life in the last year or so. What led you to like go audition for this?
It was a crazy experience, a crazy story of like how it began. First of all, thanks for calling it the right TV show. A lot of people walk up to me and call me the American Idol guy or X Factor guy. I'm not even kidding. Some dude like 4 p.m. drunk at a bar just walks up and goes, American Idol. And he didn't like acknowledge me or say anything else. He just said American Idol and his hand was up here instead of like a normal high five. And so I just like hit his hand and I'm like, it was the voice. He's like, oh, I'm so sorry. He's like super drunk. Anyways, side tangent. But I remember being 12 or 13 when The Voice came out their first season and watching the season finale and going, I'm going to be on that show. Or I want to be on that show one day. And I never thought that would actually happen. And since I was probably 16, friends had told me to audition. And I just told myself that I was still too young or still too inexperienced or whatever my brain could come up with the excuse for. And my girlfriend, shout out Timmery, she's phenomenal. She just pushed me. She's super adventurous. And she was just like, what do you have to lose? And I had nothing to lose. And so I sent in a video like 2 years ago. It's crazy
wow.
Is that right now, so it's October, 2 Octobers ago, I sent in a video submission. Didn't hear back for like months and months and months. And then there's so many like behind the scenes auditions because they're filtering down the entire country to just audition for the show. So they can't bring 50,000 people at a time, whoever auditions each year, to just walk into Universal Studios.
Yeah.
And so it took a long time. And then it was a year ago that I actually auditioned, and the whole experience was just, a lot of people ask like, how was it? And it's kind of hard to put it into one like sentence, but it truly was like the most life-changing experience of my life. It grew me as a person, taught me about the music industry. I made family there that I would literally die for right now. And taught me a lot about singing. I hadn't taken a vocal lesson until I showed up there.
Oh, really?
And so there's a lot to learn, but it was just humbling, it was scary, it was exciting, it was frustrating, it was everything all jam-packed in a very short amount of time. And what's crazy with those experiences, it almost doesn't feel real. I mean, to look at this photo,
Yeah, no doubt.
it's like, I can't believe I was actually there.
Yeah.
Like, that's John Legend. I still, like, most people are like, so how was John Legend? And I still kind of like smirk, like, I can't believe that actually happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, great experience. That was right after I got saved. So there's a cross battle. I had to sing against somebody else, lost the vote, and then John used his save to keep me on the show. And then we took a photo. So that was like 1 hour of sleep in like 2 days, no joke. And then they said, smile. There's 400 people in a building on live television. But yeah.
And you got in the top 24?
Top 24, yeah. That's right.
Nice. We'll go to the third photo here.
Sure.
Which is going to be this one.
Oh my gosh.
We kind of like went down on the Instagram a little bit.
That's amazing. I
and
love that.
Found this. Obviously, it needs some more explanation on what's going on here.
Okay, here we go. So that cul-de-sac I grew up on, all of my public schooled friends, which is so weird to say public school, they just make me sound more homeschooled. But so that was my childhood buddy. His brother Cole is my roommate now. We've been best friends since we were kids.
Oh, okay.
That's his older brother Blaine. And there was a season of his life where he was gonna really pursue being a YouTuber. And he was just like, hey, I need you to come over, and I want you to just dump flour on me. Because I don't know how to explain it. I'm just making like an intro video to my account, and I'm gonna just cover myself in flour and have a slow-mo thing. And we had like everything planned out, and he had this whole like introduction to who he was, and then he's gonna put on goggles, and then we did the whole thing, and I had forgotten to turn his microphone on, and we wasted the entire take and like bag of flour, and he was very upset. But that was just two teenagers trying to make a funny video with throwing flour at him for some reason. But I completely forgot about this. That's hilarious. But that's the story. Yeah,
Okay.
he wanted flour tossed on him, and I was available.
Definitely figured there was a story there.
Yeah.
Go to the next photo here, which is your first concert.
Yep.
At the Hagadone Pavilion, I think it's called.
Yes, that's correct. I had just got voted off the show, and I came home, and it's hard to describe. It's a very overwhelming feeling when there's this standard expectation of like you to get picked up or discovered by a label or whatever after getting on that show.
Yeah.
Coming home and having like very few things to do is kind of a humbling and kind of freaky feeling of, okay, what do I do now? Like, where do I go from here? Should I start writing songs? Should I start gigging again? Should I go back to where I was? Should I move? And I got a phone call again from my girlfriend's boss, and she just said my girlfriend's boss's husband owns or manages the Coeur d'Alene Resort.
Oh, okay.
And has an in with that whole event center. And they just said, we want to congratulate you and throw you a show together, and we want to give you all the ticket proceeds.
Wow.
And just say thanks for putting a light on Coeur d'Alene. And I was just so touched. And we wanted to sell 300 tickets, and we sold out in 2 days.
That's crazy.
And then they're like, well, let's open it up to 400. And I'm like, okay. And that sold out in like 2 more days. By the time that the show actually came, almost 500 people were in that building. And I mean, it was unbelievable. It was a great start because I wanted to make a small album, but I didn't have the money. And that was a pretty penny for me to just invest in this EP. And that was probably one of my favorite nights of my life, to actually have my show with some of my songs and covers and people there to support me. It was unreal. It was so much fun.
Whether you're playing here or I think you've played up in Sandpoint at a festival up there.
That's right.
Is there any specific areas any specific venue that you've liked playing more than another?
That's a good question. I mean, it depends on who's there, meaning what kind of crowd it is. And so I've played at the Riverstone amphitheater, and people come there to listen to music. That versus certain open mic nights are at a coffee shop, and they just want peace and quiet, so you can tell you're bugging them. I'd say some of my favorite places, that was definitely like top 3 favorite places I've ever played. I love Riverstone. And there's actually been really cool like small house parties in Spokane I've gone to, where people want to come and hear new musicians, and that's been really awesome too.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Get to the last photo here, which is obviously like a pretty big throwback of you doing covers on YouTube.
Yeah.
I looked up and it said you were doing them for like since 3 years ago or something like that.
Wow. So yeah, that was, first of all, the best middle hair phase, middle length bob Dutch boy little look here. Let's see, I was 16 and my mom was like, you should post some videos. And I'm like, okay. And the first video I posted was a cover of Ben Howard called Old Pine. And that actually picked up some views. And so I started just posting them every few months. In this season of my life, I was just getting over my first relationship. I was working at a gym selling protein shakes and handing out sweat towels and posting videos and doing nothing and dreaming of one day I could do something.
Being on The Voice.
Being on The Voice or something. But yeah, I mean, I was probably still 17. That's probably three and a half years ago.
That's crazy.
Insane. Yeah, good times to look back on.
So yeah, that is the last photo.
Awesome.
So you've made it through the rains,
the hair phases, the everything.
So this is the kind of part of the show where I let you talk, and
yeah.
I know you have something coming up for the people, so
absolutely,
I'll let you get ahead of that.
Sure thing. I mean, I came home from the show, and man, so many of these things are about my girlfriend, and it's just how it is. She lives with somebody whose parents own a recording studio.
Oh, okay.
In Bonners Ferry, Cider Mountain Recording, and they wanted to support me as well. And so I came in and started working on my first EP. I have 2 singles out right now, All I Want and Power Invested in Us, featuring Celia Babini from The Voice. And they're out on every streaming platform. And then my actual full EP of 5 songs is actually releasing this Friday, the 18th. That's going to be everywhere. It's really midnight on the 17th, and for our time zone, it's 9 o'clock on the night of the 17th.
Okay.
And I cannot wait for people to hear what I've been working on,
yeah.
and songs that I've written from when that video was recorded on YouTube. Like, those songs and that time is when I wrote some of the first songs on that EP, and then some of them have been written more recently. So it's really just 5 songs of like my progress as a musician and as an artist. And so super stoked for that to come out this Friday, the 18th, everywhere. And I mean, it's hard to be like, make everybody just wait for me, but I'm gonna do something with music that's big. Like, I'm determined to go somewhere, to do something worthwhile. And once this EP comes out, I want to tour and go along with PNW and force a label to sign me.
That'd be killer.
And be on all the radios and on everyone's phone and have everybody know who I am and share a message with people. But I think that's pretty much all I got right now.
Hey guys, thanks for watching this week's episode of Project Connect. Down below, you'll find the link to our new website where you can purchase the new limited edition summer tee, as well as check out the new Project Connect podcast. We hope you enjoyed this episode, and if you did, make sure to like and share it so your friends can watch it as well. Thanks for watching. See you next week, guys.